Hey guys, welcome to the live stream. Welcome to another Monday night edition. I'm here with my long-standing partner in crime, George. He's always here with me, and I always can count on him. Thank you for being here, George, again. And today we have straight out of the infirmary and recovering and trying to keep himself not too busy, but still giving me stress attacks here. He's Boone, and it's good to have you here, Boone. Hope you're recovering really well. Yeah, excited to talk with you tonight, and yeah, try to keep you a little bit occupied and less climbing on things. That doesn't seem to be working very well so far, but we'll try. Yeah, so I think Danny might join us a bit later. Unfortunately, Marty and Dave is not feeling so good, so let's give our well wishes to Shotgun Dave. Hope he gets better soon. And Marty is busy running some sort of sound for some show, so we want
the sound of music.
Yeah, the sound of music. There you go. Yeah, so let's go through the people in the chat, see who's here, say hi to everyone. I'm just gonna move one of my
Dusty
windows
needs to
here.
fill in for Marty.
Dusty. Yeah, if I could get Dusty, I only have 2 more lives left. Dusty, you gotta make an appearance on one of the lives, maybe. Yeah, anyway. So we have Bo from Germany. Thank you for being here, Bo. It's really nice to see you again. Always be on my shows. And of course, there's The Fingers, who's always here as well. Chris Feder, how are you? We have Steve Sweeney. Okay. And then we have Rob. And I watched his short this morning. Thank you very much, Rob. John Tucci's in the house. And then we have Dan. We have Jeff G. We have... I'm just scrolling through these guys. You guys have been busy. We have Patriot and Matt from Patriot Hobbies. If you guys haven't checked out Patriot Hobbies live stream on Wednesday night, definitely give it a look. He's got some really cool guests and a lot of history about slot cars, so check it out.
Yeah, check that out.
Yeah, then you got... let's see, who else we got here? I'm not reading comments, just scrolling through first, and then we'll go back and pick out comments.
122 Slot Car, Chris Fredder.
Oh, thanks,
Rob
man.
Sales.
Yeah.
Gene's here too.
So 132 Slot Car is actually Harry. So his name is Harry, and he's an Irishman living in Latvia. So, and he does not drink, but he drinks tea. So I was clarified all these statements on the live stream I did with Pete, so it was kind of cool. Pete's live stream. Then we have Slot Car Daddy. How are you? Tim Wood, thanks for being here. What else do we have here? Boom. Hey Gene, how are you? Congratulations. Gene came second in the last heat. Let's see. Gary Dunmore, thanks for being here, bud.
Someone from Germany called Slot Car Fun is on here too.
Oh man, Hubert, how are you?
Hello.
Yeah. He's building a scale auto track. So I've been watching in earnest because he revealed all the scale auto different radiuses and the different things. So Hubert, I'm watching your track build because I am so intrigued and I want to get a scale auto track so bad. So yeah. I heard there's a connector for scale auto track to connect to Carrera track. I'm hoping that is true and Billy wasn't just pulling my leg, but we'll see. Then we got Sean Casey in the house. Hey Sean, how are you? Michael Squire, thanks for being here.
Right. Fuck our wild man.
Dusty, what's up, Dusty? You know, you should just take Marty's place, like George said. And we keep on going. It's a lot of chat happening. Hey, what's up, Scott? thanks for being here. Scott's House of Joe is here. Ragtop Pat, thanks for being here, buddy. Oh yeah. All right, I think I'm caught up. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Just give me a shout out again, and I'll shout you out. But anyway, let's get caught up with everyone. We'll start with Boone. I'll put Boone on the hot seat. How's your week been? You can tell us about everything that's happening. Yeah, let me start cringing now. But go for it, Boone. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I mean, this week was better than this last weekend, so that's a plus. But
Yeah.
no, I mean, just every day is getting easier. You know, it's just gonna take a while to heal. But otherwise, just staying home, going stir crazy. So trying to stay busy. So
Yeah.
that's the biggie. Just trying to heal and maybe reinvent myself. Who knows?
Yeah, so let me explain to you why Boone is here, because all day I've been chatting with Boone and he can't keep still. So in order to try and get him to like stay put, I tried to get him on the live stream. I said, why don't you come? You know, maybe you can stay put. But you can, as you notice, he's playing around with trees and building trees and climbing once again on stools and trying to reach things. I've seen him. You know, we've seen him live do this. George can attest to this.
All
We
my
saw
stuff
him.
was up there.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so I don't know. He makes me cringe all the time. So no, I'm gonna keep Boone here as long as he can be, and I've told him if he ever gets tired, just let us know. But I also needed to keep him busy doing something, so that's why Boone is here. And I think this is a good topic. What we have tonight is a good topic to have Boone here. So we'll get to that later. But Boone, you are healing up pretty good, or it's getting better,
Yeah.
I would say.
No, it's getting better. I mean, I've got on total like 7 or 8 broken bones. So I mean, it's gonna take time.
Right.
You know, there was the lung collapse as well. That's gonna take time. So big thing is just be patient and don't
Yeah.
fall off any more ladders in the meantime.
Well, don't be climbing any more ladders in the meantime.
Well,
That's
I
what you should.
wasn't. I was climbing in my chair to get up there. So that's
Even
different.
worse. Yeah. Yeah. This guy. Anyway, so let's catch up with George. How's it going, George? You're almost at deadline. 4 more days to go to the midget deadline, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the deadline's this Friday.
Yeah. So how many midgets you got in total?
Let's see. There's 2 more. I have to go to the post office. I think Jeans is there right now, and then Danny should be on the way. So with that, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 15, so 17 altogether. There's a surprise one, and I don't know. I know his name and everything, so I got to figure out how to contact him. I don't think he's on the forum board, but he sent one in. It was pretty cool. And then probably the one that was really was super cool was Harry's Batman.
Yeah.
That thing's cool watching go around the track with the cape fluttering.
Oh,
And
nice.
then Strange Brew did a real nice one too, real classic one, real nice one. So looking pretty good.
Nice. Timothy Wood, welcome to the chat. Thank you for being here. I don't know. Then we got TNT Motorsport Complex. Yeah. All right. So you got your midgets. You got them all in. I know Danny's scrambling to get his to you as well. So that's kind of cool. And then, so tell us how the format works now. Like what happens. When are you running the cars, and what's like the general process from here on out?
Well, since it's the first one, we're gonna just try and run them, on a couple laps. We'll do a time lapse, see a fastest lap. So, like, say, I don't know, let's say 15 laps. We'll have to think about it. Maybe 10, best time to 10, on the lap times, and then we'll have a race and cycle them through. But we'll have to race them when separate lanes, not together, because they're open wheel cars, and there's a chance of them contacting and really kind of damaging them. I don't want to do that, because once the open wheels hit, they get launched. So
Yeah. All right. Okay, and you're doing it all live, George, or are you gonna do it recorded? How's it gonna work? You're gonna do a
I'm gonna
bunch of
do it
live
live
stream?
because I want people to see it live. Believe it or not, the two lives that I did for midgets got a lot of views. One got 1,700, the other one got 2,700. I was
Yeah.
kind of surprised that I don't know if they were thinking of something else of midgets, but I guess when they saw midgets, they got excited. So
Oh,
those got a lot of hits. I'm kind of surprised. So
So,
we'll see what happens, and
I hear Boone laughing in agony. It's funny.
he knows what I'm talking about.
Ow.
Okay,
Oh shit! Sorry,
take
Boo.
it easy. Take it easy. We got to keep this show very, very monotone tonight because Boone. We cannot have Boone laughing too much.
No, it's okay. Sorry, Boo.
Anyway,
See, I didn't
no,
mean
it's not his fault. Oh yeah, well, the
No
midgets.
midget jokes.
All right. Well, um, yeah, this is a family show here. We don't talk about midgets, but anyway, let's keep on going. All right, so yeah, so are you gonna do one live stream or a couple of live streams to do this, or
No, I'm gonna
how?
bomb everybody with live streams. So they really gravitate toward that. People that send in cars want to see more of what theirs is doing against others. So, I mean, I'm gonna do some videos, but I'm also gonna do mostly will be live streams. So, and then we'll
Yeah,
take breaks, because I gotta feed Frank.
right,
So
of
Frank will be
course.
over to help me out and run some cars. And he's been a big help. So it's nice to have somebody that I could actually rely on to come in and stuff and help me out. So he's excited to do it. So
Yeah. Are you making slop burgers?
no, probably not that. I don't think Frank can handle it. That's a Harry's tradition on that one. But we'll
All
get some
right.
good steaks going. So for his
All
efforts,
right.
we
So
gotta
it's the
we gotta
Area
keep.
51 steak show. All
Yeah,
right, good.
we'll
All
we'll
right.
make we'll make some food videos too. Why not?
Excellent. There you go. Perfect. All right. So yeah, you guys keep tuned to George's channel. If you haven't subscribed, I think everyone here subscribed to all our channels.
Yeah,
But if you're not, you should really subscribe to everyone that comes on this show. They're amazing people. And yeah, if you're into scratch building and you want to see midgets, toys, cars run around the track, keep a lookout on George's channel and hit that cowbell, as Dan would say from SVR, and that way you can keep notified when George goes live. But yeah, thanks for doing that, George. Anything else you want to talk about, George? Did you receive any new cars? Did you break the bank again? Did you extend your 1,000 car collection? Uh,
no, but I've been getting a lot of. So on the forum board, I got four C5 group C cars. Get them mixed up, 5 and C. The Porsches, so which was a real good deal. Sometimes you go on a forum, you find a for sale section. You could get a good deal on cars. So anybody who's not on the forum board, it's actually a pretty good place to buy stuff. And just tuning and retuning other cars to run on both surfaces. So I've been doing a lot of that these past couple days.
all right, cool. Any tuning tips that you want to share?
I mean, I'm the guy that does videos for the beginner guys. So I mean, there's a lot of tricks out there, and there's a lot of other great videos that explain a lot of things. Usually for the slotted cars, I gravitate toward the G25 tire, which is the excellent tire. It's a good stock replacement tire, but you do have to tune it to the car because they're really grippy tires. They work great, and then you have the NSR stuff that you get. Usually the stock tire is more than adequate enough. I mean, I changed the guides to slot invasion, make sure the wires are rerouted. Use the skinnier wires from slot car corner, change the braids, true the front tires, set the front axle height, and then from there you have to I put the tape over the pod, and then you just start tuning the body. I use also the Mazzetti body bushings, little bushings
Yeah.
between it. Those work really great. I've been really doing that a lot, and then just tuning it, just turning a screw here and there. Sometimes even the slightest amount of turning of the screw really changes a lot. So that's what you have to do. You have to play with the car and really just start, paying attention to certain things. It doesn't. It's fairly easy. It's just trial and error when you do it. There's nothing, really hard about it to tune it to your track. Now, if you're going into like racing and proxy racing, where you take your car to like commercial tracks or you send it out, it gets a little bit more technical. There's a lot of things people do. Putting nylocks on the pod. I mean, making more weight, putting more weight on it, lapping gears. I mean, even putting the tube across, in between the bushings, which I experimented that on one car right now. I'm doing the NSR Porsche because I had two Porsches that were in the box that were apart for like half a year. So I decided to put them back together, and they're nice cars. And, just experiment and watch a lot of other people's videos. Harry's, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff out there. You just got to look at it, and that's what you do. You immerse yourself in the information, and then you put it to theory or to test, and you could tune in no time. It's not that hard. Anybody could do it.
Yeah, I think tuning is just time and effort, and there's so much. Something that I know, and I believe there's so much information out there already.
Yep.
So you can always find stuff in the home racing world. Like, if you've not been to that forum, you're missing out. And you're in the slot car world, you're missing out. So definitely go check it out. Harry has done so many videos, and George and Shotgun Dave just added on top. So it's just layers of information. So definitely check it out.
John there, who just chimed in.
Oh, he is. John Albright.
We need to get. So I got to talk to you, John. I'm going to ask if I could call you next week because I want to talk to you about something. So later on, but like a lot of the tuning a lot of it is tires. I mean, your tire selection. And if you want some help with tires, John's pretty good at that. I learned quite a bit from him on tires. So, and that's really the battle, is getting the right tire, and then the tire changes how the car obviously runs, because the more grippy your tire, the more chatter, and so forth. So.
Hey, Doug, Magnetic Racing in the house. Doug, you should stop releasing all those containers with all those extra goodies inside. Now you got me putting new things in my cart. Thanks a lot, buddy. I thought I was done buying MDF kits. I haven't even built all the kits I have. Is my friends, by the way. One of them who's helping me build the MDF kits is like, Roll, stop bringing in kits. We got too many. I was like, we can never have enough. And then they're like, where are we going to put this? We already have wargaming terrain that we're putting on this track. I was like, maybe the wargaming terrain can come off. And I got a whole like chattering in my ear about, no, that's not going to happen. So, yeah. So thanks for doing that, Doug. You put me in the doghouse. Appreciate you. Love you guys. Yeah. And they had a great time at Gaydon this weekend, but we'll hear from Pete soon enough about all that. Hey, Delion, how are you? Glad for you to be here.
What are Dave?
Hey, Dave, what's up? Dave's in the house. Man, there's so many people showing up. Thank you all for being here. Dave, how are you? How's Rowan? Hope everything's good. Hope you survived your Colombian coffee this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But great Advent series as well. Got me wanting to do one as well, but I'm late to the game. So maybe next year. But loving the coffee and the car videos. Awesome touch. Thank you for doing that. All right. Well, for myself, talking about tuning, I did put in that Slot Invasion kit. Did a little bit of work there. It was fun. Easy, very easy kit to install. Very easy kit to go get into. And that what has led to from there is I'm starting to look at staff wheels and custom wheels for my slot cars because, once you start modifying cars, the first thing you want to do as a guy who likes to create show cars is look at wheels and tires, right? So. And then I wanted all the biggest wheels and tires, so I went to Staffs and looked only at 16 by 10s. And I was like, you're
starting to evolve in the hobby, aren't you? See, that's what I mean about evolving. It's always starting off somewhere, and then you start gravitating to other stuff. That's how it is.
Yeah, I got a shout out. Show Me Slot Cars is here. Thank you for being here, brother, and thank you for being with me on the Saturday morning. I call it Sunday morning, early morning show. He kept me awake with all his comments, so thank you for being there. It's awesome. Hey, good, Slaughter. Got into staffs, started looking at all the wheels, looked at only 16 by 10s. I think there's 10 sets. I want to buy 2 of each set, so it starts to add up real quick, real fast.
Oh yeah.
Because you can't just have one color. You need all the colors, right? And then
It's
you go
parts.
down that path.
You're gonna have a wall of parts like me pretty soon. With
Yeah,
staff,
yeah. I don't know about that,
we have
George.
to
Your wall
change.
apart. You don't have a wall of parts. You have a store in there. You don't have a wall of parts. Yeah. So it's really interesting how fast you can get down the rabbit hole, especially when you start tuning. So anyway, but let's talk about other things. Let's talk about our topic for this evening, and that is trials and tribulations of becoming a YouTube content creator. So I'm going to start with first question. It's a series of questions I'm going to ask, and everyone will have to answer, and we'll kind of dive down this rabbit hole a little bit and go from there. So I'm going to start with Boone. So Boone, why did you start going into YouTube? What made you get onto YouTube in the first place?
No one was doing scenery.
Okay.
No one was doing scenery for slot cars. When I did my channel, the only scenery that was out there was for wargaming and for trains.
Yeah.
And if you wanted something that was geared towards racing, slot cars and stuff, the only thing you could even get close to it would be the guys with RCs. Otherwise, there was nothing out there. And so that's one of the reasons why I started it. The other reason is that there was a lot of interest in some of the stuff that I was starting to create as far as guardrails and crash vents and that type of stuff. And, and I'm the type that, I believe that I want to share what knowledge I have, so if it's just the kind of guy I am. I don't keep anything, behind the curtain. It's like, hey, here it is, So that was the main reason to do it. I saw a void in the hobby, and the void needed to be fulfilled. Plus, the other thing is that I was bored and I was looking for something to do, and my wife and my daughter really pushed me to start the YouTube. So actually, they're more at fault for starting YouTube than I am, because they really pushed me to do it. So
all right. So had you tried YouTube prior to this, or this was just your first kick of the bucket? You're like, okay,
first kick of the bucket. Just decided, what the heck, I'll go out. And if you look at my first couple videos, you can tell it is my first couple videos. You're they're a far cry compared to what the videos are now, as far as being relaxed and everything else. But yeah, that was first try. Still doing it.
Yeah. Okay, we'll come back. We'll circle back. So I'm going to go now to George and ask him, why did you jump onto YouTube? Don't worry, I have lots more questions. We're going deep tonight. Where's George going? No, we can't. So, George, what prompted you to start YouTube?
I don't know. I just started. It's really no reason. I didn't really look at any other slot car channels, to be honest. I just started to just experiment when I got to North Carolina. Even before in California, I was doing a little bit. But in North Carolina was, when we got a house, that was the really kind of like the jump for everything, because now I could have my own hobby room and do what I want to do and have the funds to do it too. And just started playing with stock Carrera cars, and then From there on, just searched a lot and then just started throwing info out there. Like Boone said, I just started throwing stuff that I tried to share with everybody. That's how it really started.
Okay. All right.
Nothing fancy.
Well. Hmm?
Nothing
No, that's
fancy.
fine. That's fine. So let's go back to your first YouTube video. Let's talk about what did you launch with, and why did you launch with that, and what prompted that. Let's go.
I think it was one where I put a GoPro on a slot car. I had an H&R chassis, and I kind of did that. That's the real early ones, and then just setting up the room.
Yeah.
I had the track when it was on the floor, on the rug.
Yeah.
I had my grandkids playing, so that was really the early videos. I wouldn't say I wasn't really nervous because I wasn't really in front of the camera when I was explaining things, like truing silicone tires, which is really insane. I was showing that and, truing the wheels themselves by putting, the JB weld and then trimming them down. So, I mean, being in front of camera because I'm not like in front of an audience, it doesn't really bother me because it's just me. So, I mean, if I look, it's just, I am who I am. I'm not scripted. I'm not, polished. I make mistakes on camera, but you know what? That's all part about being human because that's why I like it. I am me. I'm not phony. I've been around a lot of phony people and I don't like it. So I'd rather be real and honest and truthful about what I do.
Okay, that's fair enough. Greatly. Boone, talk about your first video. What drew you to it? How do you feel making it? Any, like, how did that whole process start? Like, when you decided to shoot your first video, what did you go through to kind of get that, first press record session done?
First
Like,
video was guardrail. So I did the guardrail video. Reason behind that was because people were adamantly asking me how the hell I made that guardrail.
right.
So, that was pretty much the reason. And at that point in time, I think I had the guardrail. I had done guardrail and I had done the crash fence at that point in time. And there were some other buildings and stuff that I built and, some happy trees. But yeah, that was pretty much it. So it was just pretty much my channel gets kind of driven by what the viewers are interested in. Well, what do they want to see? So obviously the first one they were really interested in was guardrail. So that's where that came from.
All right. So yeah, okay. So you wanted to do the guardrails, but what I really want to understand is like, how did you come up with what you're gonna say in your first video? Like, what was that process like? How did you get started? That's the big point. It's like you could have a lot of ideas, but pressing record for the first time is a special time. That first time you press record, it can be daunting.
Yeah, but I'm not scripted. So everything that came out was just what, it wasn't, hard. It's like, here's a tree. This is how we're going to build a tree. It's the same way with the guardrail. I went through the process of building the guardrail. So
Right.
there wasn't a lot of thought given to it or anything like that. It was just a matter of just explaining the process, the materials, the tools that were needed to do it. So
Okay.
Easy.
Perfect. So
All
let's
right.
say hi to our newest entry into the room, Danny. How are you, bud?
Danny's here.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Danny, let's talk about how's your week been. Let's do some catch up first. I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks, so you have a lot to catch me up on. Let's go.
Let's see. Work. Honestly, mainly work and school, but I did complete the midget. It's nowhere near what I wanted it to be, but I completed it and I sent it off to George this morning.
There you
So
go.
it's on its way.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, I did
There's
finish.
nothing we can't fix here if something's wrong. No big deal, man.
Yeah. The CNC. Would you quit? The CNC is complete,
Sorry,
but I
I
still
didn't
have
mean to
it
do that.
powering on. Okay. I've got some deer jerky, and the dog is going nuts.
Oh, that stuff's good. I've had that. My coworker he makes some good deer jerky. Yep.
Yeah.
Hey.
So, um, let's see what else this week or in last week. My wife wanted a new desk, so we got this big old used desk that I got to redo. More projects. I did get a new car. I finally got my other crossbow in today.
Uh-huh.
And I got a lathe over here. So still need to mess around with that.
It's good
But
for
yeah.
truing tires too, you know, the lathe.
Well, I plan on making wheels with it, hopefully.
Yeah. Slot guy, the slot guy wants to know, is that similar to kangaroo jerky? I don't know.
I've never had
Yeah.
kangaroo jerky.
Except for they don't jump and they have bigger horns. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Uh,
Kangaroo jerky. I didn't know do these seriously have kangaroo jerky, car guy. You got me on that one.
yeah.
So when my dad's been to China a few times, and the first time he brought me back these little sample packages of squid jerky,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
it was
yeah.
really good. So when he went back, he brought me like this big, huge bag of it, and it's like really white, but it's
Yeah.
so good.
It's good. I've had it. It's really good. I know what you're talking about.
All right. Let's put you on the spot now, Danny. Let's go back. What got you onto YouTube?
You did, y'all did,
Oh,
you too.
me.
Don't blame me. Blame
I didn't do
Raul.
nothing. I don't remember.
Raul was the one that did
Why you
it,
put
not
him?
me.
Oh, look. Adam Hertz in the house here. Hey, what's up, Adam? Yeah, okay, so it couldn't be me. We said press record, but what got you to YouTube?
I mean, honestly, like talking to y'all, I mean, it really did. I mean, if it wasn't for y'all giving me the encouragement to do so, I wouldn't have. If I didn't meet y'all, I still wouldn't be on YouTube. I mean,
Okay.
it's really that. So, I mean, hanging out with y'all, talking to y'all are like, it's just easy. Even if you sound like an idiot, just do it anyway. It's going to be okay, you know? And so, like, once I got past, like, that, weirdness, like sounding like I'm high all the time, I mean, I'm good.
All right. So what
Yeah, I
was
think
your first video about, and how did you go about? Like, did you plan it, or was it just like, I'm gonna just throw up a video and I'm just gonna start talking?
So honestly, I can't remember what my first video was, but I
All
can
right.
guarantee you it was just a random, like, let's just do this and let's start.
All right. All right. Good. All right. So we all got onto YouTube. We all having fun, and then Stock Guy says he can make him in crocodile jerky. So if you guys want crocodile jerky as well, I mean.
Yeah,
So
he
it's
also said
kangaroo
there's more
jerky,
camels-
crocodile jerky. Next thing he's gonna
There's
say
more
tarantula.
camels in Australia than there are kangaroos. He said.
I'll try it all.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Let's go to the next question. What was your most? What was the video that made you really happy? The one video that you guys did that you was like, oh, I nailed this one. I really feel like I gave my all. And yeah, let's start with Boone. Boone's got a quizzical look on his face. Like, oh, I don't remember this stuff. Why are you asking me this stuff?
Yeah, this is like to the point.
Yeah. You didn't think this was gonna be an easy session, did you?
You know what? You're gonna come back to me on this one because
All right.
I've got an excuse. My brain's running slow, so you need to go. Wait. It's
I'll go to Danny.
Go to that
I'll go
guy
to George.
up
He
there.
was
Yeah,
George.
that guy
George is on the spot. Come on, George.
What's that?
What was the one video that you've made so far that you're like, man, that was a good video. I nailed that one.
Oh, they all sucked. I don't have any.
Oh man, why are you always like that? You gotta. There's something
You
that's
know
gotta
what? I
trigger.
don't know. Honestly, I'd have to really watch all of them myself because you're your own worst critic. So I mean, really, uh, I think the one that has the most views is probably the one that should be good because it got a lot of views. I think it was the first one of the early first brass chassis build ones, which was
Okay.
the which was a Pontiac. Actually, I got it right here. I'm fixing something on it.
I definitely wasn't prepared for this.
Find it.
Yeah. Well, good.
It was this car right here. This one right here, I did the chassis on camera on a video on it, and this one got a lot of hits on it. This particular one, so I mean, I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
That's probably one video that I was pretty proud of because it really got out to a lot of people. My whole goal of this is of everything besides the regular cars is to get people in the scratch building. And Slot Car Corner tries to make a lot of products to make it a little bit easier, different motor brackets and stuff to get people into it. And that's mainly my goal. If you could get into scratch building and send the car in, if somebody makes, a thing up, anybody, even you, Raul, if you made a little proxy, who knows? I mean, just build the car. I mean, look at Danny as an example of that. He's building cars. Same with Michael Squire. A lot of these guys that are first-time builders are building way better cars than I am, and I like that because that's the fun of it right there because they're actually doing better than I am. That's how I like to see stuff. So, but yeah, I would say probably the scratch building video, one of the early ones I did.
All right. Before I go on to Danny, we got Patriot Hobbies that says buffalo jerky is the best. We're gonna start a whole other channel just called Jerky.
The Jerky Boys. No. It's called the Jerky Boy channel.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna justify the Vegemite jerky because I don't know what that is, and I ain't gonna talk about it. So Travis, you're on your own on that one. But anyway, let's go to Danny. Danny, your favorite video to date?
Oh man, I wish I would have known about this beforehand, so I could have went back and looked.
Oh,
because
but then you would have cheated.
Well, I mean, I don't really go back and. I mean, for one, I don't really rewatch my videos, and so I make them, and then if somebody comments, I'll comment back and whatnot. But like, favorite one, I mean, surprisingly, my CNC videos of me building my machine and whatnot, they're doing pretty good. But I don't know. When I was building my track, I felt like, I was having a lot of fun with that. So when I was building my big track, the one that's doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'd have to say probably when I was building my track.
Okay. All right. And Boone, we're back to you.
I don't know. Probably my most popular video has to do with spray foam rocks and terrain. I think that video's got like close to 200,000 views. But the probably the video that I enjoyed the most as far as making and everything else probably was the Sunoco Ferrari video. Where I took the slotted Sunoco car and weathered it and everything else, and then gave a history of the car and everything else. That video, doing the voiceover and stuff, like kicked my ass because that's really hard. That's harder to do than what you think. But that was probably the funnest video that I did. I enjoyed the most. It's the research and everything else that went into it. You're just laughing. Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because this jerky stuff is going nuts. They're talking about possum jerky now. Come on, let's stop.
Boone, you got to do a video on weathering jerky, and we'll get people more interested.
Yeah, like the
That's
What kind
right
of
up there
weather?
with the midgets.
poor guy. You're gonna
Sort
hurt
of
Boone.
here,
Stop talking about jerky now. Come on. Well, Dave R says, Oslav R says, his famous one is the one that caused Pendle to send him sweets. So that's a good one.
What?
Oh God. You guys are hurting Boone now.
I think it was the hot. Was that the hot rod one, Dave? I think
Yeah.
that's what that one was. I like that one because he really,
Oh
really
man, he's
nailed
even
that one
calling
with
out
the
Duggan.
electric.
They're nicer than Chewits too. Oh my God, this guy. Anyway, so let's talk about. So this is a good question because all three of you, oh well, two of you have said you don't go back and watch your videos. Do you normally watch your videos, or you don't watch your videos at all after you launch them?
Well, when you're doing them, I'll watch them because you want to look for. Okay, here's an example. Okay, so I just released a video about the controller holders.
Yep.
Got the video done. That one took a while because the video wasn't rendering. It was a pain in the ass. I was getting frustrated. So I get it done, and then I get it put on YouTube. I see the title. It says "Slot Car Holders" or handles. It should have said holders, and it's like, too late. So that kind of crap right there really irritates me. And that's what I really look for, is try and look for the wrong wording of things. And the title I missed, because every time you do something and then you watch the video, you're looking for the error, so you don't get made fun of too much. So, but that's the only time I really watch them, just to look for the errors and see how it rolls. But to really sit there and just kind of look at it, I haven't really do that. I just look for it, watch it to watch for any like errors in spelling and how everything is transitioning, how your transitions work, because I use transitions, how the timing of what when you're walking away from the camera, when you get into, it's all has to do with the production part of it. That's the only time I really watch them really intently.
Okay. What about you, Danny? You watch your videos back?
I watch them as I'm editing them. You're going back and forth all the time and fixing this part and going back, and then you play it from this part to this part, and so like that's usually enough for me. Now, if I want to see, kind of like George says, if I want to see like how a certain part of it, I might go through the whole thing, but I don't literally watch the whole thing. So I might fast forward because like I know how that part went. So, but I don't sit through beginning to end.
All right. Sunday Sluskar says if you clickbait your titles, you don't need to worry about accuracy. So there you go. There's a tip. There's a pro tip right there. And Boone, I'm not going to even ask this because I don't know if you sit through a 3-hour watch through again. But do you actually watch your videos back over again?
I do.
Ooh.
Cool.
I do.
That's good.
I go through. Okay, so what I do is I go through my editing process, right? So anybody that's done YouTube knows about editing and everything else. And then I will sit down after that and watch the whole entire video start to finish.
Okay.
And I'll critique it even more and see if I have to go in and do anything else or insert something else at that point. And then I might use that video later on for inspiration for something else. A lot of times I'll go back through my video. Well, it's kind of like the guardrail video. Okay. So I did a guardrail video as my first video. I also did another guardrail video later on that was doing the Watkins Glen guardrail.
Yeah.
But I redid some stuff as far as how I did the first one. So I keep contact as far as my videos, kind of looking through them just to make sure I'm not doubling up, or if I can improve something that I've already done.
Okay, that's important. So what I'm talking about is, okay, so you've done the video, you uploaded it, it's now playing on YouTube. Do you go back and watch it ever again after that? So you've done your first edit, you've done your watch through, then you've uploaded it. Do you watch them back when you've uploaded them on YouTube?
Sometimes.
So Boone, quick. How many videos do you have on your channel? I haven't really looked on the number.
I don't know. I have to look real quick.
So Raul, how many videos you have on your channel?
280.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have like about 400, and so it's a lot. So I mean, to go over 400 videos,
No, but I'm
it's
not saying that you
a lot
go
of
through
time.
all
Even if you
400,
really
but
wanted to watch yourself.
well,
No,
you
I
don't.
have
You
what? I have 109.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yours are epics. Like you have like Lord
Well,
of the Ring
they're more like
trilogies.
1,000 because you got a lot of time into them.
Right,
Yeah,
Because it's
right,
not
right.
making fun of that. That they're just very detailed,
yeah,
which
But
is
my
great because
videos
you
are
need to be
different than
detailed
you.
in terrain.
Yeah, because I went into it kind of the idea that I'm building like an encyclopedia, like a dictionary.
There you go.
So it's a
Exactly.
it's like reference material, you know.
yeah.
That's kind of the idea that I went into my YouTube. It's something that if someone's wanting to build something, they can come to my YouTube channel, go through it, you know, like you would say you want to build a fence for, you know, sluck. Well, I have how to build fences and stuff in there. So it's kind of like it's all kind of like reference material that way.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely good. Like, it's interesting to understand this from looking at all the you creators on the screen, right? Because I'm pretty sure somewhere out there right now in the chat, there's somebody that's thinking about doing this and is afraid. And I think the reason why I'm trying to do this is like to tell you that it's not so difficult. It's not really as hard as it thinks. As long as you have something that you want to share that is your way of doing something, you should really bring it to the front. So, Gene has a question. Raul, you've been asking all the questions. What are your answers? Well, Gene, why are you so observant? Well, let's see. My channel actually started long before I started slot cars. So, I was in wargaming, and this was prior to COVID. It's the same channel. I had to change the name and delete all the videos. So it was really interesting. We had been talking about live streaming live games, and we had talked about it. And then one day, the guys came over because I had a club. I was running a club. I had 28 people come over to my house every Monday night to play competitive wargaming. And one night they came and there was a truss system set up and there was overhead cameras, and I was like, okay, we're shooting a live today, right? I'd never shot a video before in my life, and I'm like, we're just gonna jump right in, shoot a live. So within half an hour, I had done two interviews, had the armies placed up, done 2 interviews, cut into a live stream, and we're live. And I was like, this is pretty easy. It's not difficult at all. Actually, because I'd done so much groundwork prior, I'd kind of figured it out like already. You know, I got the right equipment and everything. So I started this live streaming every Monday, and these games take about 2.5 hours. So it was like total was a 3 hour live stream, and I never thought for one instance anybody would watch it. But I got like about 200 subscribers, and then the big vid came in and screwed everything up, and nobody was able to get together, and so that kind of died off. And then the whole war gaming, my whole club kind of like dispersed, and I was left with a channel that had I didn't know what to do with it. So then I started to get more into cameras because my first video was shot with a webcam. I was just using a webcam and a handy cam. That was it. And that's all I had. I didn't know anything about cameras. And then I decided I wanted to get into cameras, so I bought my first DSLR. And I was like, okay, I'm going to jump in and start doing some YouTube. But then I'm a bit more structured, so I joined the creator community first to figure out what I could do. What should I do about YouTube? Because I really didn't know if I brought anything to the table on YouTube. And I'm not a person that just jumps in randomly into anything. So I joined the creators group, and they told me to do a 10-day challenge. I did that, and then from there they said, okay, now you got to pick a niche that you can do this. And I was like, well, I'd like to explore videography and photography a lot more. So technically, I should have launched maybe a videography and photography channel, but my subject matter was very important to me, and at that time was still under kind of lockdown. So the most natural thing that I could shoot was, in my house was slot cars, because they move really fast and stuff. So long story short, I decided to go after slot cars, and here I am today, right? I lost a lot of subscribers, so I had around 250 subscribers. So when I changed the name and I deleted the video content, I went all the way down to 70 subscribers. Like I lost over 100 and something, 150 subscribers in a week. It was crazy. Like all the wargaming guys just like left me. It was funny. I was like, oh, made a mistake here maybe. But and then I started from 70 subscribers, and here we are today, right? And I met a whole bunch of you guys in the process, and I'm really happy for that. But yeah, that's what got me started. So my first video is actually a wargaming video. It was a live stream, and I don't know. I had no fear. I remember that day vividly. I just decided that I was gonna launch a video, and I just did it, and I never looked back. I hate the sound of my voice, so I never watch a video once it's uploaded. I never go back and watch video until recently. Pete forces me to watch my videos. He's like, you just go back and watch the videos and see where you made errors, see how you can improve. And so, like, that's just a process that now you start to learn. And still today, I still cringe every time I watch a video. The only video I can watch over and over is the stupid AI generated one that I did, and that's probably my proudest video because it's like it doesn't have me at all. That's a funny thing. I wrote a script for the first time, and I've been hooked on script writing since. I've written 5 new scripts since then. So that's really where I started and how I got to where I am right now. I hope I answered all the questions there. You guys are free to ask me questions too, by the way, It's not one-sided. Anyway, let's move on to the next question. What was the biggest challenge you had to overcome at some point in your YouTube journey? I'll start with George.
God, why are you always picking on me, man?
I always pick on everyone. Okay, we'll start with Danny. Danny, you start.
He was late.
He was late.
I mean, honestly, like feeling like I'm talking to myself was like a big issue, because you're just kind of like you're standing there talking to a camera. You hear yourself. You sound like an idiot. You're kind of like, I'm laid back, so I sound like a pothead. And it's like, you just sound like a flippin' idiot. Like, what are you doing? And so, like, getting over that, and still some days, depending on what I'm doing and talking about, I'm like, what in the freaking world? But now I'm kind of like, I don't really care. It's like, whatever. Now, it's pretty easy. So my wife, she's trying to do the same thing right now with this product, this health product she's trying to sell. And so they're trying to get her to do lives. And she's like, I sound like an idiot. And I'm like, you sound fine. She's like, no, but I sound like an idiot. I was like, I've been there and done that. You just have to do it and get over it. So,
right.
But that's what it was for me.
So, like I said, the first video I did for Wargaming, I was not nervous. But I tell you, the first live stream I did for Slot Cars, I swear to God, my hands were so clammy. I was so afraid because when it came to Wargaming,
a link for everybody to watch it now.
No, it's the one that you told me. Remember, I asked you, George, come on, we're gonna look at the catalog of cars. Do you remember the new cars for 2023? I hadn't done a live stream yet, and you were like, nah, you can do it on your own. I was like, God damn it, George. So I was so nervous. I was so nervous to do that live stream. I remember I was sweating. My hands were clammy, and you know why? It's because when it comes to wargaming, I knew my stuff. When it comes to slot cars, I was like, I don't know why anybody want to listen to me ever. So I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say something wrong, and someone's gonna eat my head out or chew my head off. I was so afraid. It's so funny. But today I'm so comfortable with live streaming. It's just hilarious. But I can still vividly remember that day, like clear as day. Like, wow, I'll never forget that feeling. So there you go. That was my first anxiety moment, I guess. But yeah, back to you, George. What was it?
the first thing that what was it? The overcome what your first?
Yeah, one challenge that you had to overcome as a YouTube creator. Like, what was the biggest challenge for you?
I don't know. I guess try not to make many mistakes on camera, but that
Yeah.
didn't help. It still made them. Probably the painting part was the one to try and get understanding of that, because when I first started doing airbrush, I had some real crappy airbrushes, and it was really frustrating. And then
Yep.
they say you get what you pay for. So I started researching air gun, the airbrushes more, and I found out what was better, and just through process of elimination when looking at other people's stuff. But yeah, the painting I think was a little bit of a challenge because I was still kind of not sure of it. Now that I do it more and more, I get more confident. And then even I had one video where I made a mistake on a car and it actually turned out to be a win. So it's just trying to just dig yourself out of the hole, basically.
Right.
But I think the painting part was probably doing painting stuff was a little bit tough. That was a hard one to overcome.
Okay. What about you, Boone?
I would say the biggest challenge was just to relax.
Yeah.
Uncurl your toes and relax. And then once that happened, I don't know. I'm thinking back while you guys are talking. And it's like, yeah, my first one, you're real rigid. You don't know what to say. You're kind of hesitant. You're afraid of, looking like a goof on the video, which quite honestly, when you're rigid and you don't know what to say and all the other stuff, guess what? You look like a goof on the video. There's just no way around it, So what it was to finally just say, screw it, let your hair down and just have fun and allow people to know who you are. Don't try to put on any type of front or any of this other stuff.
Yeah.
Just to lay it out there and say, this is me. Like me, love me, hate me, but it's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to get to,
Yeah.
It sounds so simple.
Sounds easy, but it's
but
not.
It's
It's
one
not.
of the toughest things, I think, as a content creator to get to that point is harder for some than others, especially I think for majority. But then there's George there that's cool and level-headed and just comes out like guns blazing. But I think like a lot of us have struggled with that. I know like Pete and I talk, and Pete said for the first like 2 years he never came on camera. He was really, really afraid to take that step and step in front of the camera, right? So
Yeah, but when you break it down, right?
Yep.
Dude, we're playing with toys.
Yeah, toy cars.
We're playing with toys, okay? This isn't some scientific thing or any of this. No, when you break it down, we're a bunch of old guys getting in touch with our 8-year-old. We might as well be on the carpet with Hot Wheels going, because that's damn near what we're doing.
Don't tell them what I do off camera.
Well, I do it too, but I mean, that's what it comes down to. So when you start to really swallow that, and you're like, you know what, just let it go. Just have fun with it. The idea to hide on, it was like, oh, like this and try. Well, no, it's a hobby. It's not a toy. Yes, there are hobby portions of it, but all it is a more expensive toy.
Yeah. Yeah, so my justification and the reason why I love YouTube more and more is so when I first started, my mom thought I was nuts, like like absolute nuts until today. Like, she just so I'll give you an example. So she came over the other day and she's like, we were having dinner and it was like a simple little question. She's like, so when are you putting your toys away? I was like, what do you mean toys? I have no toys. What toys are you talking about? She's like, that stuff that's happening in the basement. When is that going away? When are you going to grow up? I was like, what are you talking about? And I got upset. I was like, why do you always say that about me? You know? And then I was like, so here's a video. Watch this guy. Does he look like he's a grown man? He's like, you're a grown man playing with toys. I was like, here's another grown man playing with toys. Here's another grown man playing with toys. So YouTube is saving me from this kind of like situation a lot these days, thanks to all of you guys creating content. Yeah, so I can justify to my mom why I'm doing this, because other people of my age are doing it too. So, yeah. But
Remember what I said when people ask you, what do you do for a hobby? Because if they don't know anything about it, I collect spores, molds, and fungus. I just tell them that. And then they just leave you alone. Just tell your mom that.
Yeah.
Collecting
Yeah,
spores, molds,
okay,
and
you
fungus.
haven't met my mom. You know, my mom doesn't take that for an answer. Yeah, she'll be like, yeah, she'll go down to the basement to see all about my spores and fungus. Yeah, it doesn't work like that in my house, George.
Some fungus.
Yeah. So, Danny, is that a long-haired shepherd? There you go. Danny has a question. He went away.
About your beard, is it a long? No, the dog. I'm sorry.
Yeah, George. Danny, they're asking you about the dog, not your beard. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's a German Aussie.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Daryl? And that was Daryl's question, by the way. All right. So let's talk about what's the next thing I want to talk about. What's the next question? Do you guys have any questions for anyone else in the chat? No? No questions? So, how many of you, what equipment do you guys use to record your videos now? That's a good question. Let's
What
start.
you recommended?
All right. So let's talk about your
camera guy.
equipment progression, because I think that's a lot of people do ask me this question, especially when I do my tech thing. He's like, what do you progress with? Do you start with high-end camera? What did you start with? Who you want to go with? Let's go with Danny first on this one.
So I started out with my cell phone, and a lot of the times I still use my cell phone. And only reason why, because I do have I can't remember the brand, but I do have a webcam. It's the same one my dad has. He can probably put it in the chats. It's the same one he has. And then I did buy a mic, but my issue right now is my router, and I have over 55 devices on my router, and usually 30 plus going at one time. So when I usually go live on my PC with my webcam and all that, y'all have noticed sometimes when I'm on live with y'all, it's all crappy. So it's just easier for me to use my phone right now until I upgrade my router so they can handle more devices. But I did start with my phone. I did go to a webcam. I haven't purchased a Sony or anything crazy like that. It's just a 4K camera, and then my whatever mic that is from Amazon. Starts with the F, the Fisk or something like that.
Okay. So Sunny Salclaw says, spend damn money on a good mic. And I guess that's a good thing to go to. All right. So you're happy with the equipment you have. You're doing really well. What do you use for editing, Danny?
CapCut.
Okay.
For right now, I mean it's free. It's easily usable on the iPhone, and so that's what I use right now.
Yeah, so the webcam that Danny's using called the Anker C200. That's from Dan. So, yeah, great. George, what was your progression? What did you start with, and where have you come and gone to? And you have multiple setups now, so you can talk about this a lot more. So
the cell phone is probably the first thing I use. It's the easiest one to load up to YouTube. It's a little studio. Then I don't know. From there, I still use the cell phone. There, I got the ZV-1 like you recommended it, because it was still at a reasonable price. That's what I'm on right now here, the ZV-1. And in the webcams are just wide angle webcams, DepStack, not Nexigo. That's basically it. The multi cameras that I have here are webcams because they kind of easy place to put them at. I always think of doing different things to give more of the viewer like a nice aspect of the track or whatever is being done. But so far I like the ZV-1. I think that camera is really pretty cool camera. I haven't really tapped into everything it could do because it has so much. So it just you know, GoPro was another one too, but right now it's basically the cell phone. The iPhone has really updated their software on the camera really well. It's improved so much. And the thing about what I like about the iPhone is that I have the eCam, which I'm probably gonna have to end up giving up because the eCam I could actually run a live from my phone from the eCam downstairs because my Mac's downstairs on Area 51, and then Hangar One up here, I could bring the camera, I could broadcast, and I think that's really cool because for the live aspect, I think the cell phone's a lot more convenient and it's a little bit quicker and a little bit easier to set up than an actual like dedicated camera. People who are not really wanting to do like dedicated camera stuff like you and I or others, then basically the cell phone was really the first thing that I used. That's probably the easiest.
Yeah. Chris Perez says, I need more squares on screen so I can host Hollywood Squares. No problem, Chris. When are you coming on? Yeah, you can be the first one. I'd love to add you to the live stream. Do you want to come on live? Let's go, Chris. Come on. No,
yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
How about two other guys? Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys talk a lot on the chat. Let's see you come up here and let's see you talk.
There you go. George is throwing down the gauntlet.
All of you on the chat.
Throwing down the gauntlet.
Yeah. All right. So talk about your mic there, George, because that's another big part of video is mic and audio. And a lot of people say you can have crappy video, but you should never compromise on the audio. So what do you think about your mic, and how did you progress with your mics?
Well, a lot of times when I was doing the lives from the iMac, a lot of people would say, "Well, we can't really hear you because the microphone's built into the iMac." So then this one right here is the same one I have downstairs. You just don't see it because it's not on a boom. It's the same. I'm trying to remember the name of the Dart thing. I don't know what they do with the box, but they're from Amazon. They're very reasonable. They're not real expensive. And hold on a second. Here it is. It's called the Maono. So that's basically what this is. And it's a pretty reasonable mic. It's not real expensive. This one with the boom, I think it was like under 50 or 50. So, I mean, it was worth it. And then the other one I got was like 30. So it's a lot of the things with this is like you could really hear yourself, or they could hear you on the live. Because when you have something that's far away, like the laptop here, it's not going to really grab your voice. So yeah, the mic was more of a progression because of people were saying that, I can't hear you. And then I actually watched the live just to see. And sure enough, that I said, yeah, I can't even hear myself. So that's probably why I most likely got it to help out with just, being able to be heard.
Yeah. Hey, Shotgun. Good to see you here, bud. Hope you're feeling better soon. All right, let's go to Boone. Boone, talk us through your equipment and how you got started and what you're on right now.
I started with just a simple Android cell phone.
Okay.
Then I got an iPhone, and I still use my cell phone. I mean, cell phone's cool because I can have my editing equipment and everything all tied into it. Plus, I have my YouTube right there. So I can film it, take everything in there, and I have my editing studio, per se, is right here, and I can take it anywhere I want. So
what are you using for editing, Boone?
I use, what is that? Let me get it over there. Video Leap.
Okay.
Yeah, I just use Video Leap, which is okay. I mean, it's not top of the line or anything like that, but no,
yeah.
Been able to what's that? Recipes? Oh,
what are you is the chat
stuff popping up on my screen? I'm like, what the heck? All of a sudden, a bunch of recipes popped up. But no, that's pretty much what I've done. Just kept it simple.
And you still do that till today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Do
mean,
you
the
have an
only
iMac
upgrade.
phone by any chance?
What's that?
Do you have an iMac computer or is it a laptop?
Laptop.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The one thing I
Yeah.
do like about the iPhone and iMac is that you do the AirDrop to the iMac. So if you're have you like sorry to interrupt you, it's just something that came to thought. But when you have your like editing stuff, that's what's kind of nice about this. I just drop it to the computer and everything is there, and you just start your editing there too.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. The only upgrade I really made from that was just a microphone.
the microphone.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, but I'm not trying to do all these special type of photo shots like Raul is with ultra slow motion and but Space Invaders coming in,
Yeah.
that's yeah. But
Well, I'll go into why I've gone that route, but I'm gonna go back to George because George, I never asked you what do you use for editing, and the reason I'm asking this is because I want everyone in the chat to understand that nobody uses the same thing, and nobody has to have all the same software, and nobody has to have all the high end equipment. All you have to do is just start, and you'll find your own workflow. So, George, yeah, what are you using for editing?
Well, I have Movavi currently, but it's giving me trouble lately. So I've been going to the Apple iMovie because the Apple iMovie seems to work better. So I have
Right.
to start rendering iPhone videos so Movavi will take it because I don't know why Movavi is having a hard time with it. It wasn't doing that probably like a few weeks ago. Now it seems like the last two videos it's been a little bit aggravating. But uh, like you said, there's different softwares. I remember when so I've done a lot of other videos before I even done this YouTube thing with slot cars because I used to do weddings, birthday parties, where I would get pictures. I take photos for them with my camera, videos, and then I'd combine like a little music video for them as part of what the package I did. And I've done a lot of different small things for myself, my car club. So there's different ones. The first one I used was Vegas Software,
Yep.
which was by Sony, I believe. So
And
that I think it's yeah. And then there's just so many of them. I mean, it's just whatever is comfortable. I think by far the hardest one, I think the most pain in the butt one, if you guys ever run to it, is Adobe. That thing is it's too complex. You really need to sit down with that and spend many hours to learn every ins and out. But you want to find something where you have a storyboard and you could drop things in and make simple transitions. That's where I would start with. But right now it's Movavi and iMovie.
okay, cool. Um, I guess you guys want to hear about mine, but okay. So I'm gonna preface mine with this. I came in to learn about cameras and videography and photography, and the reason for that is because I wanted to get more work from my clients. I'm in marketing, digital marketing, and it's just natural progression for me to add this to my skill sets. So the reason why I have so many cameras is because outside of YouTube, I actually do pro production work. So I do set up live corporate events at bigger venues. So I do need to have the upgraded pro equipment, as you would say, boom mics, high end mics, because when you get into that kind of production, when shooting 4K, 6K, you do need that. When somebody's paying you to do that kind of work, then you need to have the professional grade equipment to kind of justify that cost as well. So that's why many of you will say, "Oh, you have so many high-end equipment and cameras." It's because outside of YouTube, I use that in my day-to-day, and I built a business out of that from YouTube. Because of YouTube, I've got opportunities to do more work for corporate clients. But when I first started, I started with a webcam. It was a Logitech 920C, and I had a handycam. It was a Canon Vixia 800. And that's what I started with. And for the mic, I used a conference mic. So, one of those little like wedges. It was very cheap. I think it was $50 from Amazon. You put it down. I hung it from my truss, so it kind of hung down in the middle. And because I was recording a table, it could capture everyone talking. It wasn't the greatest, but it kind of got the job done. You got good audio. Yeah, we had decent video, and that's why I started. And then when I wanted to start shooting slow motion, I started, and because slot cars, I wanted to get something with high frame rate, and that's how I got into the ZV-1, and then I slowly progressed into Sony, and I started to pick up everything, and then, like I said, I just keep on exploding on cameras because it's just something I got into. As for editing, I am an Adobe user. Sorry, George. I do use Adobe throughout my editing process. However, recently, I've been using Canva a lot. And Canva is a web-based software that you can just launch from anywhere. You can launch it on your phone or on your computer. And the cool thing about that is it has a lot of pre-canned assets. It's already preloaded in Canva. It's very fast for video producers to make. And it's relatively very cheap. So it's around $20 a month or something for Canva. It allows you to do all that. If you're streaming, I'd say StreamYard is the best streaming platform right now for any creator. It's simple to use. You can get it for free too. It kind of restricts you from doing what you do, but at least you can get started. So those are my tips on equipment. Mics. You don't have to go crazy with mics. There's some really good mics, like the Boya mics are really good. They're very cheap. Entry-level mics that do a really good job, or the Deity mics, they're really good as well. And then you can step up from there, obviously. But good audio, I think, is prime. And then good lighting is the next thing. And that's something that I think a lot of us don't put too much effort in, is lighting. And that's something that can really just change the game as well. But, I mean, everyone starts with their own budget. Everyone starts in their own space, and then you progress from there. It's how far you want to take it, I think, in general. But at the end of the day, the equipment means nothing. The content means everything. So the more true you are to yourself and the content, the more will come through, and you can shoot with anything to get that to happen. So that's my takeaway from that.
DK hit it right there. So what he said there, 20 is cheap, 20 a month is a little different. So here's where that goes with. So before, video editing software used to be on a disc, or there would be a program you could buy. Well, how do you think companies figure a way to make more money? They start doing subscription-based software. So in other words, you have to pay a yearly fee for that software. That's why if you have like old Adobe Photoshop discs, hold on to them, because they're still, you can still use that. Whereas if you go like Adobe now, you have to pay monthly for that, and then all the little add-ons. That's how Movavi is. You get a yearly subscription, but then you want add-ons. They want to charge you for the add-ons to the program, and that's how they make their money now. It's just all subscription based. You can't buy anything physically anymore. It's all digitized.
Yeah, so there is like OBS is free software that you can use for streaming if you don't want to use StreamYard. StreamYard has a free option. Canva, $20, but that's for the pro account. You can get a cheaper version of Canva as well. Like, there's all levels, and that's the thing. And then when you say $20 a month, you have to understand what that comes with. A lot of things, like if you want to do quick text effects, or you want to do cool transitions and all that, it's all bundled into that program. So it really saves you time. If you think about it, one thing that takes the longest time is editing a video down. So shooting video is one thing. Like, I shoot 6 hours for one car video, and I have to edit it down to like 5 minutes or 10 minutes with pre-installed or pre-encapsulated effects. It's a lot faster, right? So what I've been doing a lot right now is, because if I want countdowns, to create a countdown is not as simple as it seems. Like, if you use Adobe, it's not that simple, right? But when you're on Canva, you can just say, here's a countdown, change the font, change the colors, do that, and within minutes, I have a countdown. And now I can, cut that into a movie, drop it into Premiere, and take it from there. So this is where the time saving comes into effect, and this is where the $20 becomes a lot more effective, especially if you're producing like 3 to 4 videos a week, right? So yeah, I think it all comes relative to what that gives you in relationships, right? Like, that's what I see. DaVinci Resolve. Show Me Shotcar says he uses DaVinci Resolve. That's a really good program as well. Yeah. Anyway, let's move away from tech. Let's talk about what do you guys feel is your motivation for continuing with YouTube and keep it going? What brings you back? What gets you motivated to do the next video? Anyone can jump in here. I'm not gonna say George or Danny or Boone. I'll let you guys answer that one.
I can say 2 words: scratch building. That's all it is for me.
Yeah.
Yep, scratch building. Get people.
So your
more to
next scratch build project, that's what gets you back on the front of the camera.
Yeah, well, I like what I did earlier with polishing stuff. That was a little bit different. Everybody knows. If somebody doesn't know how to do it, at least they see it. But I think the scratch building is what really motivates me to do more and more, because I want to be able to build a cool car that you can't buy from like NSR or something like that. That's why you do that. Cars that you can't get.
Sunday slot cars. I love his answer is money. There you go. Unfortunately, none of I don't get any money from YouTube, so I don't really come back from the money. I don't think a lot of us do here. But Sunday slot cars owns a shop, so for him it is a way to promote his shop, and in return it's direct relationship to sales. So that's why his motivation is money. But so George, your motivation is scratch building. Danny, what's your motivation? Why you come back to YouTube? Oh, sorry, Danny. Give me 1 second. Go ahead.
Community and conversation.
Yeah.
It's where, I make a video of whatever, and then, somebody comments, and, it may be like we go to, Facebook Messenger or whatever, and then we have a conversation, it's like why I did this or why I did that, or it comes up in conversation later. But, it's really what it is for us, for everybody else, and, something to talk about.
Okay. Is it also a break from your day to day and a way to just kind of release?
Yeah, I guess you could put it that way.
Yeah. What about you, Boone? Well, I know you're always tinkering, so you always have something to bring to the forefront. But you tell us. Go ahead.
My main motivation is probably the viewers.
Yeah.
It's the viewers.
The community.
It's the community, because let's face it, videos aren't the easiest thing to do. In some ways, I'd love just to turn off the video and go on that layout and just create all by myself and be my little hermit, But
Yeah.
it's the viewers. That's the only reason why I'm doing a channel. I like what I do, and I like sharing and stuff like that. But if I didn't have the guys that were coming to my channel, would I still be doing it? No, I wouldn't be doing it. Just so I can put my face out there and go, yeah, I'm a YouTube guy. No, I do it simply because of the community and of the people that come to my channel daily to watch my videos.
Yeah.
That's purely why I do it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think the community plays a big part in everything that we're doing anyway. I think I feel more connected to slot cars ever because of the community. Because prior to this year and actually doing live streams, because before I did live streams, I never really met a lot of people. I may have commented, but I actually got to meet a lot of you by doing these live streams, and it's definitely really enhanced my depth in this hobby for sure, right? And it goes on to, I've gone on to do some cool things as well with it, and we can talk about that in a bit. But yeah, for myself, I love shooting cars, and that was my initial motivation. Then you get involved with the community, and now I just love collaborations. Like, I'm trying to collaborate with more YouTubers, start. And I really like this thing of us working together to kind of take this niche hobby and make it bigger. I think that's the whole thing, is like making this hobby bigger, whether it's through scratch building, whether it's through collecting, whether it's through like developing new kind of terrain, new kind of, and like Ian and Doug and Kevin from RTS creating all these new MDF kits, and people like Slaughter and Shane putting them together, and then Marty for tuning and racing. There's so much happening that's making this hobby kind of explode, and we can see it by the amount of people coming through and in the chats and everything else. So that's really what brings me back a lot. And every time I feel like, oh, I have nothing more to say, that's where this kind of things kind of bring me back. So 100%, the community is like one of the top factors, I think, for everybody. Boontang, right? All right. So final question for the evening, from my end. What do you guys see your channels going on to do, or are you going to switch up, change gears? Anybody doing something exciting for 2024, etc., etc.? Let me know, or let the chat know. Even the chat, let us know what you guys are planning to do for 2024.
I think for me, it's just to get more content out there. I've kind of been slacking lately, so I will have a month off of school here within a couple weeks for Christmas break. So hopefully, I can get have more time to get some stuff out there. I'm kind of behind. I've got videos that I've taken, I just haven't done anything with, so I still need to get those out there. Like part 2 of the build for the CNC, I still need to get that put up. But I do want to get some more content in general out there, and not necessarily just the CNC, but more slot car stuff. I've almost been thinking about starting another channel to maybe keep the CNC and the slot car stuff separate, but then at the same time, like I don't really know what to do with all that and how to do both, because I don't want to like run off slot car people because I'm doing the CNC, but the CNC was mainly for slot car stuff. So, I mean, I don't know how to. We'll see what happens, I guess.
This is a very good point you brought up, because Danny, I wanted to do the same thing. I was thinking about taking my tech and moving it off to the side and doing the slot car channel and tech. And guess what? I can't sustain both. It's no way I'm going to do it. So I just brought the tech back in. And you know what? If people really appreciate me for me and who I am, then they'll stick around. And if they don't, they don't. That's the way I'm going to approach it moving forward. I can only put all my effort into one channel. And for me, that's it. And I'm going to mix my tech in. And I understand a lot of people are starting separate channels. It's very difficult to control a lot of channels, I feel. Especially if you're not doing this full time. And you're working full-time job, and like I said, I'm going to school just like you, and I have to produce my YouTube videos, and I have my consultancies as well. So it's like just too much to try and add another channel. I thought about doing it for 2024, but I'm not. So I'm just going back straight into the one channel, and it is what it is. So that's my take on it, if that counts for anything. What do you think about that, Boone?
As far as what's
like separating out channels and splitting them up because you don't want to like mix it into slot cars and all that.
Yeah, but it all depends. Some of the stuff actually blends into slot cars.
Yeah, exactly.
It does. But I would say, yeah, that's the one thing about this hobby, which is so dynamic, is that it has so many different layers to it. It has more layers than any other hobby I've ever seen. Really, when you break it down, it has more layers than RC. It has more layers than trains. It has more layers than Warhammer.
Yep.
It really does. So, yeah, I mean, you can start 2 different channels, or you could actually blend it into one.
Yeah, it really comes down to how. I think what it comes down to is how much content are you going to be producing, and how much is that going to be split into 2 different buckets, right?
Right.
If you have a lot of content you're producing and you can actually split it up into the buckets, yeah, sure. But if you're only producing one video a week or two videos a week, can that really sustain two separate channels? I don't know if it can, and I don't know if it's
I guess it all depends also what you're trying to get out of the channel.
exact.
Are you
So
trying to get to monetization? If you're trying to get to monetization, then you got to hit that thousand point, you know,
yeah,
within 6 months to a year. There's those other things. If you're simply wanting to do it for the enjoyment of doing it, then yeah, multiple channels, go for it. But if it's multiple channels and you're wanting to be able to monetize those multiple channels, that's where it starts to get tough.
yeah, 100%.
That's where
Yeah. No, definitely see that point of view. See, I don't look at it that way because for me, monetization, it's fine. Like I got monetized on my channel, but and it was a goal of mine. But ever since I got there, I don't know what to do. I'll be honest. I'm like, oh, I've got here now. What?
well,
Because I
the
mean,
further you go down with the amount of subscriptions and stuff like that, the bigger that your channel gets, the more the monetization will start to show itself. There's a lot of tools that I have because I'm at almost 9,000 subscribers that when I first got into it, I didn't have those type of tools and those type of opportunities. Now I have people that are coming to me that want to advertise on the channel itself. So I mean, there's different portions of it, you know. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things. It's an onion effect as you go.
yeah, so here's the thing, right? Like, Slot R is hitting on the head for me. If I watch a channel, I'm watching the person as much as the content usually. If the person wants to show me other stuff they love, then and they do, then I'm still interested. And I feel that that's what I want. I want from my channel. It's like, yeah, my channel is predominantly slot cars, and I will show off a lot of cars because that's what I am and that's what I do. But tech is a big part of myself. But if I wanted to really monetize really quickly, I think tech channels monetize a lot faster. Especially with the rate I buy cameras and everything else, I could easily launch a tech channel. But the truth is, I'm not trying to do that. I want to really, I use my tech to shoot better videos for slot cars. So it's really, I'm learning tech to do slot car videos. And like, that's why I do the 360 cameras and all that crazy kind of wacky stuff. And I push the envelope in that. So really, the tech portion for me is really just about shooting better videos. So why not just leave it on the same channel at the end of the day, right? And if I want to paint wargaming terrain, painting is painting. Whether you're painting a slot car piece of terrain or wargaming terrain, at the end of the day, the techniques are the same. You can. There's a lot of crossover for that. So why not just do it on one channel? That's the way I look at it now. I was really considering splitting up, but just the time that it takes to just do all the back end, like, prep work and all that for all these different channels, I might as well just put that into more content, I feel. So that's just my take on it. But you guys can chime in. Like, George, what do you think? Danny?
Well, I'm gonna start a beef jerky channel, so I think.
Oh, great idea. You saw the amount of people you get.
I know.
How
I think
many
beef jerky
are
would be a
watching?
big-
You have 46 subscribers right away, George.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're already all on your way to monetization right away. There you go. Yeah.
I wouldn't do another channel. I'd just stay with what I have. I mean, if I wanted to, I guess I could. About polishing, car repair, all kinds of stuff. But I don't. I'd rather stay with one thing. It's just too much. I don't know how you do it. I I have other things I need to do too. That would take too much time away from family and my wife. So the one channel is fine for me.
Yeah. Well, BS Lockars is on, and that's the brother and sisters Lockars, or Steve and Cheryl. And Steve has two channels, but Steve has a well built RC channel, which he has over 14,000 subscribers, and he felt that it was necessary to split this Lockar channel because, I then think for him it makes sense because he can sustain both of them. He's got his workflow on the RC channel down packed, so building the the slot cars is easier.
Well, no, you
And
see, you could have, like you say, showcase another hobby net. Harry does it. He does it with RC crawlers
yeah,
because he's into that heavily, more than you guys know. He has a lot of RC crawlers, and
yeah,
when I went over there, he showed me that, and I played around with a couple of them. But again, that's just a whole nother thing you could get into. But I mean, it's and that's just crawling. That's not, you know, buggies or track, whatever the track dirt track cars that go, trucks that go, stadium trucks. It's a whole another deal. So I mean, you can showcase something in your channel if you want to show it, but you'd have to be really dedicated if you want to have another one. That's a lot. I mean, I give the guys credit who could do 2 channels or even more. That's pretty good.
yeah. Like I launched 5 channels, but I have friends that are running the other channels, right?
Yeah.
So like I have a friend that runs the Pokemon channel. I have another friend that runs, and these were all part of the club from before. So it's not like I have 5 channels, but I don't do content for 5 channels. I do content for 1 channel, and that's the Conquest Racing channel, right?
You see all the names everybody's coming up with here. Sorry, I just Soylent Green and people. Recipes for possums. Not because you think I'm from the South, I put possums.
Yeah. So
Well,
there you go.
know,
I think
you guys
that-
know what spam means, right?
yeah.
It's spam, right? Squirrels, possums, and mice. Okay, that's what that means.
Yeah. So there you go, Danny. I think that gives you lots of points of view about doing 2 separate channels. But I think for now,
I'll
just
pick one.
yeah, just stick to 1 for now and launch it. Yeah, and this is like where Steve is coming in and saying it's best not to mix things, better stay focused on one subject, better for YouTube. I think it depends on how much of that other subject you're gonna be doing, right? So if you're just sprinkling in some information, then maybe. But if Danny, you go full blown and you start to doing CNC videos after CNC videos, then yeah, I'd say you split that off into its own channel at that point, right?
Yep.
But I wouldn't put pressure on doing that right away. Yeah. Yeah, we have 2 but can't combine them really. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, there's so many different trains of thought, and if you talk to any good content creator, they'll say 1 channel, 1 focus, another channel, another focus. But when it comes to reality and when you're dealing with everything, I can only do X amount of videos, and I just do them for the 1 channel. So there you go. Anyway, well, on to barbecue squirrel. Who's eating barbecue squirrel now? Jeff G. All right.
See, jerky squirrel. See what I mean, man? You can turn
Yeah.
into a lot of stuff.
All right. Well, that was my last question. You guys have any more questions for me, or anybody in the chat have questions for anyone on the panel here? Let me know. Yeah, we have about 20 minutes, and then we're gonna wrap this up. So let me know if you have any questions. George, you have any questions for anyone?
Oh no, I'm good.
Nope. Danny?
No.
No. What about you, Moon? Come on, you gotta have some questions.
What do you guys have planned for 2024?
Oh yeah, I had that question. Nobody else answered. All right.
See, we were avoiding it.
All right, George, you're on the spot.
What for 2024?
Get,
I mean,
get that
what?
guy up there.
Yeah, that guy. Always that guy.
Guy up
That
there.
guy up there.
That guy. Yeah, that guy. That guy who answers the question.
What's for 2024? I guess more cars to see. I mean, more scratch build stuff, more proxy racing. Brass chassis building things. I mean, who knows? The future looks good. Like I said, being in the stock car hobby is great because there's so many things that's available now than there was, 10 years ago. So it's pretty cool. It's a good time to be in stock cars.
All right. Well, no, that's good. How many scratch build cars are you going to release next year, George? I need to know so I can, add that to your ever growing slot car catalog. Like I said, George has George has so many
A lot of
cars.
model
It's not
kits
even
left.
funny.
I don't know. I don't know. It'll be a lot.
Yeah, that's good. So at least one a month, right, George? At least one a month.
Maybe.
There you go. What about you, Danny? What are you gonna do next year?
Well, I want to. I do want to build some more scratch build cars, but I think my main focus is, um, I don't know. I guess I am kind of organized, but I want to be with. I add too many things to my plate, so so I kind of want to be able to spread things out and be able to accomplish what I've set for myself. So like take for instance the midget. I put too many things on myself in the midst of all of that to be able to even try to complete that on time. So I kind of want to, you know, complete what I start and make sure it's fully complete instead of, you know, I guess half-assing it really.
Yeah. I think maybe that's where planning things out. Like I do a lot of planning for next year already. I've done my plan. I think sometimes I mean, plans get awry all the time. But just make simple goals for yourself. I think that's what Danny's lacking. Danny's lacking simple goal. Danny's got the complex goals. But at least you can have one. Well, you can have like one goal would be maybe you have a routed wood track by the end of next year. I think that would be an awesome
Yeah.
thing, and that would be awesome videos. Like as you progress that whole situation, that right. But
Yeah.
Danny, you got to make those decisions for yourself. But you you have a you have like so much that you want to do. It's crazy. I've always thought like Danny just adds so many layers, and then he's like, oh, it's just like with you start with. I remember when we first started with the slot car track, you wanted a wood router track, then you got the plastic track. Now we had to take down the plastic track because you had to put a router in this place. So I mean, like it's been quite a journey for you this year, Danny. So, but I'm excited to see what you come up with next year because you did the 3D printing. Now you're doing routing. Now you just got a lathe. Soon you're gonna have a full workshop in there. It's gonna be
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah.
All right, Boone. What's your plans for next year?
My plans? Well, I'm going to start to attack this thing a lot deeper than I have in the past. So I'm actually going to throw my head into the commission side of it, start doing builds, put that out there.
Yeah,
Um, I have a lot of stuff that has been built behind the scenes that no one has really seen before that I need to bring to fruition out there and
yeah,
start doing that. Um, I have about 25 different car bodies that I've designed that are just sitting on the shelf that I need to get done and they need to get out there, you know. Um, so yeah, it's I'm gonna push hard this next year and really change it up. Even the channel itself, I want to start doing more live streams, but I want to do build along live stream. So instead of having just a video of me building a tree, we're going to build a tree together.
yeah,
So what I'll do is I'll put out ahead of time what I'm going to do, what the materials are. We're going to have the live stream at such and such date, and we're going to do it that way.
yeah.
So
I really love that. You've been doing that with your patrons as well.
with the Patreon,
Yeah,
and it's really fun. I'm not going to be able to go probably as intense as I do with the Patreon group because it's a lot smaller group that way. And with the Zoom meetings, I can interact with them and everything else. Um, and then we'll do it's kind of like it with the Patreon. We built this,
yeah,
big, gigantic Dunlop bridge. And that's all scratch built, right?
yeah,
So, um, probably not going to be able to do something like that per se on the YouTube. That those type of builds will be strictly for Patreon. But building, like this little tree that I did while we were doing our thing tonight, something like this, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and start switching it up. And there's some other stuff that I'm talking to a couple other guys in the slot car community about. So, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. I have this massive fall. All right, I have this. I'm not gonna joke and candy coat it. It was a bad fall, guys. It was bad. And but the one thing was it's making me kind of really reevaluate certain things. So um, that's kind of where I'm at. I've reevaluated certain things, and there's some stuff that I really want to push on and do. I think 2024 is the year to do it. So
Yeah,
we're just gonna
100%.
go jump
Oh,
into the deep part of the pool and go for it.
yeah, no, that's awesome. Like, I like that you've taken the time to actually see that and start to plan for that change for next year. So that's awesome. Um, for myself, as you guys know, the Monday live streams are winding down. They're going to go to monthly live streams, which I think is awesome because it gives us more to talk about. And also, when we come together, I think the group can commit to once a month better than once a week. So it'll be more exciting because we'll all be together. The second thing is, I love collaborations, and me and Pete, we've been collaborating really well. So we want to bring a show to you guys that Pete and I kind of working behind the scenes to put together. So I'm really excited for that. And then one thing that I'm really proud of, and I have to say thank you to all those who put trust in me to do, is the GRL. And the GRL became pretty successful, and it continues to garner a lot of interest. And I know that people already want to sign up for second season, so I'm going to put more effort into that, I think, for next year as well. And lastly is I gotta catalog my cars, and I have been procrastinating and putting that off. So I've made a list of 150 cars I want to catalog next year. So there's 150 car videos that I'll release next year. So I think that's pretty intense. So well, they won't all be like the Green Monster video, by the way. Okay, so there's no like script writing. A lot of just really fast get cataloging the car, give it a bit of history, shoot a lot of photographs and put it up, and at least that way I can go around the world and I have access to my catalog, because when I travel I tend to buy a lot of cars, so gotta be careful not to buy doubles and triples. So there you go, that's my plan. Anybody in the chat got plans for next year? Put it down, let us know. Yeah, that's pretty much what I have to ask. Anybody else have any more questions? Let us know as well. Boone, I have a question actually for you for your commissions work. What are you trying to do? Is it all terrain, or is it more than that? Is it like bodies, anything else? What are you planning there?
It'll be terrain. It'll be kits, scratch builds. I won't go to the bodies until I have the bodies actually up and going. But
Okay.
these bodies, there's about 24, 25 different Can-Am bodies.
Yeah.
From the early part, the first part of Can-Am all the way until 74. Actually working on some single seat Can-Am ideas like the Frisbee and that type of car as well. But those bodies, as soon as I get them produced, and start creating the resin body for them, we can do that, or I can go ahead and do the full on build as far as the outside of the body.
Yeah.
And do it that way. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It'll be some fun stuff, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that covers everything I had on my agenda tonight. I hope you guys in the chat enjoyed that. It's just to showcase that YouTube is not always it's not some big mystical thing. You can just start with your cell phone, create content, come on. If you have something to say, just say it. Yeah, we all go through the cringe factors. We all go through ups and downs. But at the end of the day, if you stay true to yourself and you have something to say and you have fun doing it, that's the most important thing, that the fun has to come out. If you can do that, then you can be on YouTube and create whatever you want. So I encourage every one of you that are thinking about starting and haven't done it to go ahead and do it. And don't be afraid to, stumble and fall, because that's what we all did. And that's all what we all went through to get where we are. And we continue to do that. I still stumble and fall, even doing my own live streams yesterday and not having a timing system that works. But hey, that's part of life. And we learn. So I'm going to open it up to questions from the chat. And if there's none, we can wrap this up. If there's any questions from anybody in the panel, let me know. That's about it. Yes? No? Maybe? Play some music then in the middle.
It's too quiet.
It's quiet? No. All right. Well, I don't think there's anybody who has any more questions. So I guess we're going to wrap it up here. George, thank you once again for always being here every week, Inside Out. We have 2 more weeks to go, guys. And I appreciate all of you that have been here. Danny, thank you for rushing home from school once again, being here. It means a lot. And yeah, keep on doing what you're doing. I'm interested to see what comes off the first CNC route. So I'm watching in earnest. Me too. Yeah. Boone, no more climbing on things. All right, within reason. I saw you climb on a chair earlier. It almost gave me fear factor. Yeah, so take care of yourself, man. Heal up quickly. Whatever I can do to help with anything you're doing, just holler at me and I'll help out. And yeah, I'd love to collaborate with you and do more things next year. That would be awesome. I'd love to collaborate with anyone and do more things with them next year. But, we'll talk about that. And for myself, I want to thank everyone in the chat who showed up, everyone who participated with the comments, and everyone who's been here for every week on Monday since I started. I appreciate all of you, and thank you so much. And until next week, I bid you farewell and have a great time on 2 Rails. Take care, guys. Later.
See ya.
See ya.